Well, hello there, and this is Auntie. And we're going to just do a little chit chat, viewers weigh in. There, a teacher is going viral after letting some of his female students remove his braid. He was a middle school science teacher who goes by Jacques Lee on TikTok. And he is facing heavy criticism after broadcasting a live stream of some girls preparing him for his upcoming hair appointment. While critics said it is inappropriate for a teacher to let the girls take out his braids, Lee told his TikTok followers that he was rewarding his best friends for showing good behavior in class. Let's get into this, y'all. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now, you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody. And this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Excuse me. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. I had to put a jacket on. That was cold. Y'all, this teacher at a middle school in Prince George's County, Maryland, I believe it's Prince George's County, Maryland, allowed his students 10 minutes before school was officially over to take out his braids. As a reward. Now, this teacher indicated that you can't make this up. He indicated that he is not only a teacher, but that he considers these students his best friends. Not only did he allow the students in his classroom 10 minutes before school was officially over to take out his braids, but it is also my understanding that children who were in another teacher's class came over to do the same. Now, I would like for you all to weigh in on it, okay? And let me know if you think that this was appropriate or inappropriate. I am going to play the TikTok video without it being on the screen, just so that you can hear what is said in an effort to protect the children. I don't play children over here. I don't release children's pictures and all that kind of stuff, right? I just don't do it. So I see you all are already weighing in. So you must be familiar with this. So Miss A.B. is saying, nope, I don't like it. Very inappropriate, unprofessional. Sugar 48, inappropriate. D. McFarland, I'm a former teacher and there are boundaries that students and teachers do not cross. And he did too much. Students are not your friends. He is very unprofessional and inappropriate. She curves word, inappropriate. Dom, inappropriate. The money, inappropriate. Yolanda, inappropriate. Not professional. Chia Bless, inappropriate. It lacked boundaries in so many ways. So, y'all hold on to that until we listen. So, Ray Della, I need your help. Give me a thumbs up, Ray Della, if you can hear what I'm saying. Give me a thumbs up real quick. Because I'm going to need you to let me know whether or not you can hear. Ray Della, give me a thumbs up when you can hear me so I can hit play. Is Ray Della here? I know she is because I just put her thing up. Okay, so I'm going to play. Tell me if you can hear it, okay? Were you able to hear it? Or do I need to turn up the volume? The volume is all the way up. So y'all saying no. Y'all, I don't want to show these people's kids. Oh, how can I play this without these people's kids showing? I don't want these kids showing. These are people's children. Which is the first thing that I got an issue with. Pam said, yes, we can hear. I don't know where that one is where the kids' faces are blurred. I don't want to play these people's kids. I swear, I just don't want to play these people's kids. But I want you to hear what he said. How can I play this without playing these people's kids? Just don't want these kids to show on my channel. Let me try it this way. Hold on for a second, y'all. I'm real funny about people's kids. I do not want these kids showing in this video at all. So let me see what I can do real quick. Nope, that didn't work. That did not work. Just 1 second. Oh, I see he does a lot of videos with these people's kids. So, y'all, I'm going to try my best to do this. I do not. No, it looks like I can't. I just tried it. It looks like I can. So let me go here and then we'll play his response. I do not, for the protection of the kids, want to play their thing. So basically, as a way of rewarding the kids, he indicated that he had a hair appointment. And because he had the hair appointment, he didn't have time to take it out the night before. His best friends, which he calls his students, his best friends took his hair out for him for his hair appointment. Let me tell you something. When I get my hair braided like this and in the other styles that you all have seen me wear, it is their job to put them in. It's my job to take them out. Now, there are some shops where you can go and they'll take them out for you, wash it and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. Never in my life have I asked my best friends, okay, to take my braids out, let alone somebody's kid. And it's a tedious job taking braids out. The twist that I had in my hair a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a week and a half ago or something like that, it took me 3 days to take them out. But I never one time thought about calling my best friends to help me take them out. There have been many days that I have gone, and I know I'm moving ahead, but I'm going somewhere. Many days, if your hair is anywhere set up like mine, you have gone to work with that ponytail, with that them old braids or twists in your hair. Protective styles is what we call them. And had to come home and take your hair out. But not nary time have I ever thought, 10 minutes before I get off the clock, I'm going to take my braids out. Bitch. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I have not thought about ever doing that on my professional job. Whether I'm interacting with people or I'm in a standalone office, have I thought that this would be the best opportunity for me to take my hair out. First of all, when you take your hair out of protective styles, for those of you all who don't know, these are what you consider a protective style, braids. I wear them in my hair because I have very soft, fine hair. As I've gotten older, bitch. That is hard to, I've gone natural. I've been natural now for golly, maybe I think 2015, 2016, I went natural. Decided to take all the chemicals out of my hair and go natural. Natural hair requires a lot of work. I've worn it short. I've worn it different ways. You can go back and look at my videos. You can see I have very, very curly hair. My hair is nowhere near 4 C's or 3 C's, right? I have a very, very curly hair. Very soft, all that kind of stuff. Unless it's just, knots off. Y'all know what I mean by that. There's been many a times when I've sat on my job uncomfortable because I am aware that my hair needs to be done. I'm aware of that. I may have been up all night, like I've been up the last couple of nights, working. If I need to go and get my hair done, then I take time off. PTO, personal time off. If I have a function or something like that that I have to go to, and I know that I can't do it within my normal off the clock time, then I take PTO and do what I have to do. But I'm not going to use my employer's time to take my hair out. I am not going to have my employees, my coworkers, come into an office and help me take my braids down because I have a hair appointment. I just ain't gonna do it. So I take issue with that. I don't believe that you should do it during that time. And I also don't believe that children are my best friends. When I think of a best friend, I think of someone who is my equal. Someone, that I have grown up with or been friends with for quite a long time, who is my equal, who can equally sow into me as I sow into them. Y'all know I'm a word person. Let me look up the definition of best friend. Let me try it real quick. Let me see if I can get it up here real quick. Because I'm old. A best friend is someone you can trust with your life, who has seen the best and the worst of you, and will be there whenever you need someone to talk fucking to. That's just one definition of what a best friend is. I'm going to read it again. Someone you can trust, who has seen you in your good times, your bad times. I'm going to throw in your equal. A child ain't someone I can trust. I can't even trust children to take the trash out. And absolutely, as a mentor, a teacher, and I ain't judging them, I'm just talking. As a mentor and someone who's older, who's providing guidance and support, I don't need you to see me at my worst. I don't need you to go through my ups and my downs with me, because at your age, you can't handle it. People who have known me for years, who I consider good friends, have walked with me through my life. Not someone who is depending on my life or on my guidance or on my advice. So how can a child who really doesn't know me, who's not my equal, be considered my best friend? And then how many best friends does one get to have, bitch? I'm just asking. Everybody ain't your best friend. They're not. And even me, and I've told you all before, most of my good friends are men. Some people think, oh, maybe they're in a relationship together, or maybe that's her boyfriend, or maybe they like each other. No, they've walked with me through life. We have developed a relationship based on being equals. I've seen their ups and downs. They've seen my ups and downs. We know each other's families. We go way the fuck back, 40 plus years. But never can a child ever be my best friend. So I take issue with saying that this person is these kids are your best friends when you got to mentor them. See, for my best friends, I don't mentor my best friends. I don't come in and step in the place of a mother, nor am I expected to. As a best friend, I'm not expected to guide you and lead you, to provide that kind of we talk, we communicate, we share ideas, we share hurts, we share pains, we gain insight from one another. What kind of insight can a child give me? There may be something that they do, or maybe something that they say that may give me an aha moment. But that aha moment is going to take it back to maybe something that I need to, maybe like, oh, okay, now I see why this happens this way, or why they think that way, whatever. But it's nothing that's going to help me. And I'm not saying that kids cannot provide some form of insight or aha moment. But when I'm talking about getting my bills paid, bitch, or whether or not to take a home equity loan out to go and purchase a property to help guide me through raising my own children, how can a kid give me that? Best friends is a give and a take relationship. Some best friends are closer than husbands and wives. Now, that's a whole nother conversation, but I'm just saying. So when I look and I read this article, they cannot be your best friend. And I just think that with children, you have to have boundaries. I'm not judging a young man. I'm talking about from my experience. You all let me know down in the comment section yours. But there's nothing that I want to halfway sometimes talk to my own child about, who has witnessed my life, but they've only witnessed my life from the perspective of a child. Those intimate things that I want to discuss, I don't discuss that with my child because, first of all, they can't process it. I can take my life experiences and use that as advice, guidance, counseling, because once your kids get to be a certain age, you can develop a relationship where you are now not so much as being, can I describe it? Once they get to be a certain age and they're able to make their own decisions, your role changes. Now you're not the disciplinarian. Now you're not controlling anything. You don't have any more say so. Now all you can do is be a guide, a counselor. Now you can develop that relationship where you can be a little bit more open. As they go through life, those things that you prepared them for, now you walk hand in hand with them. But as a child, you can't do it. You can't be my best friend. The definition from Oxford also goes on to say there is a balance in the relationship between give and take. Children are not able to equally balance with an adult with years of life. There is no equal balance, in my opinion, and these are my opinions. There is no equal balance. I have life experiences. I'm here to teach you. I've gone to school. I've gotten the credentials to be able to become your teacher, not your best friend. And while you may think it cute, there's so many other people, not him, who will tell your children they're their best friend and that they're looking out for them. And they could actually be preying on them. That's why we gotta communicate with our children. The definition goes on to say you feel so in sync with them that you can comfortably share your innermost feelings and thoughts. Now, I am absolutely positive that he's not doing that. Because only can you share with a best friend your most innermost thoughts. That's it. Not with a child. Because again, they don't have the life experiences to be able to have an equally balanced conversation with you. They don't know anything about a condo at that age. They don't know anything about how to deal with life issues. But they don't even know how to vote. They can't even vote. They can't even change the circumstances in their own life with a vote. And I'm calling you my best friend, where you can't even influence. You have no influence. I'm not saying they don't. Please don't misunderstand. They have influence where they are. They may have influence among their peers. But those are their peers. So who am I to say that someone who is in middle school is my best friend? Make it make sense. Let me continue to read. He says, while some critics said it's inappropriate for the teacher to let the girls take out his braids, he came back and his response was, he told his followers on TikTok that he was rewarding his best friends for showing good behavior in class. He responded to the criticisms in a video he posted after going viral. He said it's disappointing to see that people consider this interaction with the girls too intimate. We're not even going there. Because people like myself understand that you can have relationships and they're not be intimate. People like myself understand that not everybody's a perv. People like myself understand that there are men in our society who can step in and help without wanting anything from that child sexually. Just like there are women who can do the same thing for little boys. But we create boundaries. And sometimes perception is everything. Sometimes just how it looks is everything. Male or female. See, we can't make this about a man-woman thing because it's just not that black and white. In life, we understand that there are many hues of gray. So I don't even think it's necessary to go there. We're just covered the best friend thing. Just being a best friend is enough for me. All the other stuff, that's for the authorities to handle. So my whole thing is, as adults, we know what we're responsible for. We know we got to keep our grooming up. So if I am a teacher, and this may be a little far-fetched, but I just want to throw it out there. I'm a teacher, and I got up, and I have an appointment. I went to the gym before I got to school. Okay, we need to go talk about school. Let's talk about work. Shall we? Yes, we shall. I got to get up and go to work. But I got to work out first. I work out, I take a shower, I come back, get in the office, I'm working. Is it appropriate for me as a grown-ass woman to say, I forgot to put my deodorant on? Can you do that for me? What the fuck? Grooming is too personal. Because that means that you got to have that body contact. I am a person, okay? Don't know about any of y'all, but I'm a person that I have space issues. I have issues with people being in my fucking space. I've got to prepare to be in people's spaces. My friends know it. It's just how I've been. I have an issue with space. I don't want to be on the subway and we beside each other and the train throwing us back and forth. I got an issue with that, and I just get to the point to drive, bitch. Pay for the parking. Unnecessary or not, pay for the parking. He goes on to say, we as people have to abandon the idea of sexual intimacy. To me, I did not see that. For some people, they may have, but that depends on where people are. Being tied to getting your hair done. I'm sorry, but when you go back and you look at the African American culture, I don't know about anybody else's culture because I'm black. I'm African American. But in our culture, in my culture, none of the men took out our hair. Grandma did it. Auntie did it. You sat in between their legs and they yanked out your hair. And if you made the wrong move, you got popped with the comb. How many y'all show me a show of hands of how many y'all got popped with a comb? All throughout our culture's history, we see mama and grandmama sister and cousin taking out our hair. You sitting on the floor. Where you be? In between the legs. In and out of our culture, we have also saw women taking out men's hair. We've seen it in our culture. It happens in our culture because we wear protective styles. We wear cornrows and braids and twists. And sometimes you do need that. I see your hands, beautiful hands. But there is an equal and balanced relationship. A teacher-student is not a balanced relationship, in my opinion. It's not. It ain't. Oxford says that the relationship is equal and balanced. And if you go do it, because I've heard other teachers say, hey, I've done that. I've done some things with my students, giving them time to be on their cell phones or chit chat and all of that kind of stuff. I haven't always followed the rule, but I didn't put this on TikTok. It was something that was handled within the school system. If I saw my child doing that, I would have. I don't send my child to school to take your braids out your hair. I've gone down to the school building, child, with the whole attitude is I ain't got it to do. And just about ripped bricks out of the fucking building for less than that when it came down to my child. I could not imagine sitting on my job and seeing a TikTok of my child fucking taking out somebody's hair. Bitch. Not doing school hours. You ain't gonna have no principal calling me about that shit. That's what we not gonna do. He indicated in his video that he doesn't want children. Then how does he know how to father? How does he know how to father? But why does he have the desire to be a father if he don't want to be one biologically? And that ain't to say he got to have kids. I just was listening to him like, what? So you really don't want to be, like, what role do you really want to play? Is it the best friend? And then if they're doing your care, whatever, you know what? I would have went the off. I ain't even gonna lie. And you definitely ain't gonna have them on TikTok. Because my daughter don't do social media. There was many events that she was in that we didn't sign a social media waiver. For her to take a picture, no fucking way. Because different strokes are for different folks. And my child decided social media ain't what she want to do. And I respect that. I don't even think I haven't even asked her about how she weighs in on this conversation because I already know. Ma, nah. Nah. I ain't taking out my teacher's break. So let's go on. He says, y'all can see there's nothing suggestive going on. It's like family. It's like community. This is simply a wholesome, innocent, community oriented activity. He also explained why he didn't prepare for his hair appointment the night before. He said that Friday, we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed. He said I had to look presentable, so I had to take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself. As he continued to defend himself, he called out the critics for hypocrisy, saying if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. You a whole lie. Because see, you can't generalize everybody just like you don't want to be generalized. But okay. He said, because me personally, think there isn't anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. But before you said it was community. So now what is community? It's just hair. Can the two of those be true at the same time? He said it doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. My child has had cool teachers, and she never take out a fucking braid in her life. Never had to. Because the teacher was cool based on the merits and based on her or him performing their job. Not because they had to help their teacher take out or put in braids. I had cool teachers when I was growing up. Teachers where we would go after school and hang out. Who would also teach us math. Started a whole tutoring group in his room. He was a cool teacher, Mr. Stevenson. And I never had to take out his braids for him to be cool. He was just a good man, a good teacher who cared about his students. He wasn't a pseudo dad. He wasn't someone that I would go to and talk to my problems about. He wasn't none of that. Now, I don't know if he served that role for some kids, but I didn't need him to do that for me. And I think that sometimes people think that because you grow up in a certain neighborhood that you're lacking. That maybe there's something wrong in your home. And that's not always the truth. It's an assumption. The weak grows up with the tail. What the? Some people have never had cool teachers. The main objective, he said, is to build strong bonds with his students. He said, I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics because caring for the whole child is what is important. Amid the black backlash, he also received praise from his teaching methods. Many of his followers wrote raving comments saying the teacher didn't do anything wrong and he deserves praise for showing real love to his students. But when have we seen him show real love? I don't know. I don't follow him on TikTok. If you do, please feel free to put it downtown in the comments section. He says, what I strive to do as an educator is to be the teacher I wish I had growing up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child will be proud of. I want to be the teacher that my students reflect back on 20, 30 years down the line and think like, dang, that teacher I had in middle school, he was the shit. And trust me and believe me, I have teachers that I remember very fondly and I never took out of their hair, took their braids out. It's not given. I have, many of you have, teachers who you think of very fondly. We have watched politicians and celebrities alike indicate who their favorite teacher was, and I never heard them say, I was taking out their braids. And that is what makes a great teacher, that I had to perm their hair in class, bitch. Unacceptable to even use it as a measuring stick for what a good teacher is. A good teacher creates an atmosphere of learning and exploration. They create an environment conducive to doing that. And when necessary, goes above and beyond to bring correction and guidance and sound counseling and partners with your parent. And partners with your parent. So that it can be reinforced there and at home. I never once heard him talk about his relationship with the parents. Now, maybe he has later on. Where is a parent partnership? I'm just asking. I want to understand really where he's coming from, but I know that raising a child up through the public school system, some of the years was private, but through the public school system, when I would volunteer at the school, and I was a huge volunteer, I went and got fingerprinted, had a full background check done, and understood that I needed to have fucking boundaries with them kids if I wanted my record to stay clean, bitch. Hey, Miss Kelly, she's been a member for 10 months. Auntie, I've never been behind the desk of my favorite teacher desk. Me either. Okay? We were not their little friends. Unacceptable. Totally understand. D. Mouse said, would he have been as comfortable asking Becky and her prep school classmates to take his head down? Aquarius 202 says, no, I'm not with that. Something sus about the way he's responding. You get your, if he's not a creep, he's still too incompetent to be a teacher. He doesn't take the role seriously, and he's too comfortable with the students. Fergie 201 said, my kids had cool teachers too, but I kept my eyes on them. And I kept my ears open and down to the fucking ground and partnered with other parents. See, because in order to raise whole kids, you got to raise them all together. Where's the partnership? Maybe here's the partnership with the parents. Again, as I said, I don't know. But I want to share this video real quick of him responding. This one, his kids are not in there, and I don't want these kids in here. So let me bring this up real quick for 1 second because I really would like to be fair and balanced, but I'm a mom at the end of the day. And I know that I've worked with kids. I've always partnered with their parents. I did understand. And when I say that, I do want to make this I do want to say this. There were some kids who did not have great homes. You're always going to see it. You're always going to see kids who come to school and you know that they haven't eaten for the day and may not eat that night. There are some kids that you know that their parents are drug addicted or maybe alcoholics. But you can only get in where you fit in. You take it to the proper authorities if you think that something's wrong, but you don't cross the boundaries. And when you do something, you always see why. When he had the other students coming from the other classroom to join in, did the instructor know that this was happening? Now, there have been rumors out there that he has been fired. And from what I saw from TSR, they have indicated that he is not fired. That he is, I think that they said he's on administrative leave. I believe that's what they said. That he's on administrative leave pending an investigation. So let me play this real quick. Let me bring this up. And let's just watch a little bit of this. I haven't seen it in its entirety. I probably saw a minute of it. So let's see. Okay, hold on for 1 second. Let me see if I can blow it up first. I don't know what he was thinking. And he's probably a fantastic teacher. Just doesn't understand boundaries and CYAN. Because young, you got the CYA. Straight up. Sometimes you can be accused of something and never even did it.
Controversy that has come from this. No, amidst all the controversy that has come from this video that I posted, I wanted to come on here and read some of the messages that my students are
Let me
sending
see if
me.
I can blow him up. Hold on, y'all.
Some of the messages that they've been sending me. During this time, hey Bessie, I really hope that you see this message. How are you? I hope that you're okay. My class misses you so much, and we really want you to know that we love you and we miss you so much and can't wait for you to come back. I can't believe that taking somebody's hair out and And it makes me so mad that people make little things big things. I want you to know that the class and others got your back. And we will always stand behind you and up for you no matter what happens. We got you. Again, we miss you and we love you so much. And can't wait for you to come back. I wish that this never happened because it feels like we're losing you. Come back soon. Don't be gone too long because if you're not back by Monday, I know something's up. But anyways, I also made sure that the classroom was clean before we left. Love you, missed you. Love you, miss you. See you later. Hi, Mr. White. We've been seeing all this stuff going on, and so has your other former students. And I just want you to know that we're standing with you. I I'm literally in my junior year of high school right now, and seeing all this, you were my and many others' favorite teacher. Many of many of your students and former students are doing our best to advocate for you. You're one of the few teachers that made me really feel like I had a voice and opinion. And not only that, you made learning fun and encouraging. At the end of the day, some people won't understand that some adults genuinely have a good heart. And it comes have a good heart when it comes to dealing with children. And that's probably never going to change. But we know parents, staff, etc. None that there knows that there has never been anything weird going on and that there was never any insinuation of that. The people that actually matter knows where your heart is, and that's all that matters. During COVID, you quite literally helped me through my eighth grade year by just being an adult I knew I could go to if I was having any problems. Continue being you and don't let anyone change that. For the GOAT. What's up, Mr. White? I know that I know that your situation may not be looking the best, but just know that you'll get through it and we all know your real intentions. Remember, your remember your Bruce Lee quote. Remember your Bruce Lee quote. Can't wait for your return.
He got the damn dog upset.
P.S. Your Air Maxes are in the boys' locker room. I seen them today after practice, and I didn't know what to do with them, so I just put them in there. My Bruce Lee quote is: "If you if you have an emotional reaction to anything someone says or does to you, means that that person can control you, and you should not be controlled by anyone." Dear Mr. White, dear Mr. White, we hope that you're doing well during these tough times. We hope that you're doing well during these tough times. We wanted to let you know that we appreciate you as a teacher, as our teacher, and we hope the best for you in your future. We hope you come back, and we want you to keep your head up, like Tupac said. In appreciation of you, we cleaned up your class. Thank you for all that you do for us. Don't listen to those haters. We love you, Mr. White. Lock in before we tweak out. And P.S. We also fed your kids for you. and my kids are my animals that are at the school, and logging before I tweak out is something that I say to them when they get on my nerves. So thank you. I mixed all.
Um, um, I think that he had the best intentions. And I'm going to be honest in saying I believe he had the best intentions. And had he not put it on TikTok, he probably be still doing the same thing. But we got to create boundaries. I wish him the best of luck in whatever he decides to do. I believe he 1% wholeheartedly believed that what he was doing was the right thing. Goodbye, T. T. T ain't even. T, stop. T, don't do that. Thank you so much, T, for the 4.99 super chat. She said, Auntie, I can't take the faces you make. Thank you, boo. What are you saying? This is mere optics. If this was a female teacher, there would be no uproar. I totally disagree because it has been done. And there was an uproar. There was an uproar. The only difference, my dear Captain, y'all know I love me some Black Tie Fit. He done changed his name and stuff. Y'all, that's Captain. The only difference is it wasn't on TikTok. It wasn't on social media. That's the difference. There have been uproars with female teachers, but they did not sit their asses on TikTok and film it. It didn't go viral, but it happened. People are going to weigh in, right? They're going to wait. They're going to weigh in because you got this on TikTok. Thank you, boo. You want to come up? I would love to have you up as an administrator and as a school teacher. I would love to have you come up. Thank you so much, Really BTV, for the $9.99 super chat. As an educator, thank you for understanding that this was unprofessional and inappropriate. I would love to have you come on. thank you so much, Boo, for the 990. I would let me drop the link. I would look. She covered this on her channel. I thought it was excellent. It was her and another teacher or educator who covered this on their channel. She is in the DMV area like myself. Come the up. Y'all, I'm gonna put the other video off till tomorrow, okay? Because we get ready to have a convo with Really BTV. This has happened with female teachers. So I don't know why people, I think that what people don't understand, and I respect Kevin and anybody else that's in the comment section, but I'm telling you right now, it wasn't on TikTok. It wasn't on TikTok. You can't put your on TikTok for millions of people to weigh in and force the hands of the administrator to have to do something because you're exposing them to risk. Now you're exposing the whole school system, the principal, and all the administrators. Welcome, Really B.
Hey, what's up, Auntie?
Hey, boo, how you doing?
I'm good. And I didn't forget about our conversation. It's just been a crazy
I know.
couple weeks.
I know, and you've been working, child, and just going for please.
Yeah, and it's the end of the year. I got graduation and all kinds of stuff going on. So
okay. Well, we won't disclose your personal business out here on these streets. But we do know that you are an educator. Can you give just a little bit of background about your credentials, you being a school teacher, administrator, all that? Just a little bit. Don't tell us where you work at now.
No, you know I ain't gonna do that now. You know okay. I know better than that. Yeah, so I've been an educator for going on 25 years. I've been a classroom teacher, department chair, I've been an assistant principal, I've worked for the union, I've worked as an advocate for students with special needs. So I've kind of been in, a lot of different positions, throughout my career. So that's kind of just it in a nutshell. I even worked at the detention center, child.
Okay.
I sure did. I worked with the juvenile delinquents.
Yeah. I tried it with my little, how you gotta go and get your little security check and all that. Girl, I couldn't do it because while I don't have a whole lot of empathy, I can be sometimes an empath. And when I see kids that are going through stuff, because of what traumas in their home and stuff like that, I can't manage my emotions.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
It's a lot.
It's definitely a lot. Mm-hmm.
So, Really B, how and why, having all of the credentials and the 25 years of service that you have provided to the DMV area school system, how and why was this inappropriate?
So here's the reality of the situation. For me, and there have to be lines, right? There have to be lines between adult and child. And when you blur those lines, you create problems. This was inappropriate on so many levels. I think for people who feel like he didn't do anything wrong, I don't feel like they're looking at it from the perspective of a HR or a job situation. So when I talked about it on my channel, I was like, I think a lot of people are trying to turn this into like a sexual thing. And that's their opinion. I'm not going to tell someone. And
I think that has nothing to do with it.
For me personally, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I'm not going to put that label on this young man. But what I do feel, and what I will say is, if I were an administrator walking down a hallway and I looked into a teacher's classroom and I saw students on school time doing a teacher's hair, and it wasn't a cosmetology classroom, Houston, we have a problem, right? So if you listen to the video and you hear what he's saying, he said, this was the last 10 minutes of class. First of all, I don't believe that. That video looked like it took longer than 10 minutes, but okay, 10 minutes. You are still on the clock. Teachers are expected to teach bell to bell. Now, do most of us teach bell to bell? No. I'd be a liar to sit here and say I have never told my
Giving
students
free time and stuff like that.
Right. I would be a liar to say that, right? But to then say, well, you know, I didn't have time to take my hair out, so I told my kids, hey, go ahead and take my hair out for me. And then he went further to say, I even went and got kids from other classrooms.
I thought I heard that.
Classroom to help do this. He said, well,
I'm
I made
another
sure
educator
from a whole nother classroom. He said, well, I made sure that they were done with their work first, blah, blah, blah. I do not, if that were me, can I tell you how pissed off I would be if a teacher came to me and asked for my students and I found out that they were doing his hair? You came and got kids out of my classroom during my class time to come do your hair? Again, I understand about building relationships. And what I need people to understand is you don't have to blur the lines with children in order to build relationships. And I think this is where we are across the board in our society. You have parents blurring the lines with their kids. You have adults blurring the lines with kids. And let me tell you something. When you blur the line with kids, then they think they're on your level. And right now, that same kid that loves you today will cuss you out next week. Because
and sit your ass up too.
Yeah, because you've put yourself on their level and they now feel like you are their peer. And what you've also done is you've broken the rules and you've told the kids with that. I know this sounds real crazy, but what that subconsciously tells the kids is that the rules don't matter and the rules aren't important. So next week, when you want to enforce the rule, now they're going to be like, but last week you let us do da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Kids will tell on you.
Hell yeah.
Kids will tell on you. Kids will be like, why you acting funny now? Because last week we did your hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when I look at that video, those are the things that I saw. And I want for the people that, and again, I can't tell nobody how to feel, you know, I respect everybody's opinion. But for the people that say, oh, he wasn't doing anything wrong, I want you to just put yourself in the shoes of that parent. Imagine you are sitting livid.
I would have tore a cinder block out that fucking school.
Imagine if you are sitting at your job, your good government job.
I seen that earlier. I would have.
Imagine, you know how we do around here in DC, your good government job, and you get a phone call.
Fucking job and been at that school.
If you get a phone call from your girlfriend and they say, Auntie, I see little Auntie. I'm scrolling through TikTok. I see little Auntie down at the school doing her teacher's hair. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. Imagine getting that phone call while you were at work that your child is on live, streaming live. This was not an uploaded video. He was live on school time, streaming this. Imagine getting that phone call saying your child is on TikTok right now doing their teacher's hair, male or female. I'm sure that, and I know that when we add the male element, that does add a different element, but male or female. Imagine how you would feel. Your child, you send your child to school to learn, right? And unless they in a cosmetology classroom, how is that? He said he a science teacher. I don't think he had any ill intention. I don't. But as somebody who's been doing this for a very long time, I don't blur lines. And sometimes, you know, they call me, I can't tell y'all my last name, but they call me Patty. My last name begins with a P, so they rhyme it. They call me Patty Boom. And I say, you're right, I am. I'm Patty. I am. And I'm okay with that. But understand that in the years that I've been doing this, I have been invited to weddings. I have been invited to baby showers. I have gone to sporting events, competitions. I have been invited. I've had students pledge sororities and fraternities. I have been invited to their probates. I have been invited out of state to come and witness some of their events. You can build relationships with students and still maintain I'm the adult, you're the child. So shoot, my dentist right now is a former teacher. She cleans my teeth every 6 months. You know what I mean? And so I still have students, and here's the thing: the minute they graduate, they can call me by my first name. And some of them still call me Miss So and So, and they grown.
Yeah, my daughter does. My daughter does. My daughter does.
But I tell them, I say you can follow. Like once y'all graduate, y'all can friend me on social media. Once y'all graduate, we could be social media friends, and you can call me by my first name, but not a minute before. I'm not your friend. I'm not your bruh. I'm not your bestie. Listen, my best friends can't order a drink with me at the bar. So if you can't go down to the bar with me and order a drink, we're not best friends. We can't be.
And they not your equal. They just not. I read the definition earlier about what a best friend is, and in no way are they his fucking bestie. And I also said earlier, you can have great teachers who have never crossed boundaries.
Yeah, and you can build those. And listen, like I just said earlier, I worked at the jail. Do you understand how hard it is? When my kids came into my classroom, when I worked at the jail, they knew I didn't let them curse in my room. Did they slip up sometimes? Of course they did, because these are kids that are not used to authority. Most of them didn't go to school on a regular basis, but they would catch themselves because they knew what the expectation was.
Yeah,
I didn't lower my expectations to them because they're criminals or alleged criminals, and they knew when they came in my classroom, there was something I expected. Were they perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But they knew what the expectation was. And again, I built relationships with these kids. They listen, the boys, let me tell you something. The boys had me watching videos of combing their hair, how to get waves in their hair. Because I would again, these are kids that used to being out on, running the streets. And I say, listen, if y'all give me 45 minutes, listen to what I'm saying, do your assignment. When you get done with your assignment, we can watch one of y'all videos on TikTok. And I never understood these little boys would sit there and watch these videos of a barber showing them how to brush their hair, how to get waves in their hair. But baby, listen, so I understand about making deals with kids.
Making concessions. Right.
I get that.
I do too.
I don't have a problem with that. But we still have to stay appropriate when we do that. So yeah. When I was a student, my teachers wouldn't even let us put lip gloss. Listen, they can't do it in my class. That's one of my class guidelines.
Yeah,
no personal grooming.
No personal
They can't
grooming.
put on makeup. They can't, and I don't let them do it. They can't take their hair out. They can't comb their hair. Baby, if you having a bad hair day, we all have them. I heard you saying that, Auntie. We all have bad hair days.
Yeah.
Go in the bathroom and do the best you can and come on back.
Thank you.
His concession appears self-serving. There you go. That's
what she said.
I was reading the comment. It says, but his concession appears self-serving. I can agree with
because he didn't have the time. I mean, I have gone to, and I said it earlier, I've gone to my daughter's school and kirked the fuck out for less than that.
Yeah.
Because of something I believe as a parent was inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like my child snitched. Like she snitched. And so I could not imagine being on my job and getting a phone call, a text message, a tweet, Instagram DM that my child is on somebody's fucking TikTok taking out hair.
During school hours. Yeah.
It's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And I said, and I believe that he thought, and I believe he still thinks, because he's still justifying himself.
That's my problem too, Auntie. It's like, and see, again, being on both sides of the coin, I've been an administrator. I've had to observe teachers. I've had to put teachers on improvement plans. I've had to have conversations with teachers. I've been on both sides of that coin. And what I'm hearing is he still doesn't feel like he did anything wrong.
Nope. He crying and everything, girl.
Yeah, he still doesn't feel like he's doing anything wrong. And the other thing I said on when we reviewed this on my channel, the other thing I said is I don't think that people, for the people who don't think it's a big deal, and again, I don't want to offend anybody, but there are rules that we as teachers are supposed to follow. So,
Mhm.
so for example, I know where I work, we're not allowed to give the kids our phone number. So when he says these kids are texting him, I question, do they have your phone number?
Now I left it alone, but I was like, how the fuck they got his phone number?
Now there is an app that I use. There's an app called Remind. There's an app that's called Remind that I use that I can set up, and it's specifically for educators that you can set up with, that you can set up groups with your classrooms and you can text your kids through the app. But it's not my personal phone number and it's not their personal phone number. And I only do that with my seniors. I don't do that with my ninth graders. I teach high school. I don't do that with my ninth graders. I send them an email. If they don't get the email, that's on them. But for my seniors, I do have a Remind app. But as far as them having my phone number, no. And we're not allowed to. See, that's the thing. It's not about whether you choose to or not choose to. It is you are right, or a Google phone number. Yeah, a Google number. You're not allowed to give them your phone number. That is inappropriate. At my school, well, the district where I work, it's not just my school, it's the district. We are not allowed to stay after school with kids one-on-one. It is for our protection and their protection. If you have a student in your room after school, you're supposed to leave a door open. You're never supposed to be in there with a door closed.
No.
You're supposed to call the main office and say, so-and-so is in my classroom. I'm doing such and such and such and such. And if you're going to be there for any type of extended time and you're doing some sort of tutoring or something, you need to take your tail down to the library. It's an open
you know
area,
what? And
and
even
everybody
as
can
a
see what's going
parent,
on.
and even as a parent working, doing volunteer, because I was very active when my daughter was in school. I had to get a background check and every damn thing just to work with the kids.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, now when I first started teaching, a lot of those things weren't in place, right? But the world is just, it's a different world. We live in a very litigious society. We have a lot more protections in place for kids. And those are some of the things. Like, I used to do after school tutoring all the time in my classroom. But even that, I wouldn't, the things I did when I first started teaching, I wouldn't do now.
Yeah.
I learned, I evolved. I'm like, woo, oh no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it now. But again, when I look at that, I put all of that into context of where we are today. You know what I mean? And it's just
because these kids, these kids that are growing up now, as opposed to when I was growing up and when you was growing up, they don't know life without social media.
They don't.
That's all they know is social media. So they have so many different influences. They didn't grow up the way that we grew up. So for them, ain't nothing wrong with being on TikTok taking their teacher's head because they don't know anything but.
Exactly. They don't see a problem with it. And that's why the adults have to step in and say, no, this is not okay. And so when I hear adults say, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see what the problem is. I'm like, maybe y'all not looking at the full scope of what it is. Because let me say this, and again, let me be clear. I do not think that this man in that moment was doing anything. Like, I don't see it.
Me either. Absolutely not.
But understand this. All it's going to take, though, is for one of those girls to
make an accusation.
Absolutely. That's all it's going to take is for one of those girls to make the accusation. Do you guys understand that once that cat is out the bag, it doesn't go back in?
It don't go back in. It don't go back in.
Even if we find out that the girl lied, it doesn't go back in the bag. And so again, even as a female teacher, those are things we have to deal with, whether it's from a female student or a male student.
But that happened. But one of my subbies said that happened with a male student and a female teacher. It does happen. It just wasn't on TikTok. It was handled by the school system.
Exactly. I would be a liar, y'all, to sit here and say that I I mean, again, I have dealt with situations where teachers were inappropriate with students, and we've had to go through the process and do all of the things. So what I'm saying is, what I want him to understand, which I don't think he's getting it. What I want him to understand is that was inappropriate, and you can build relationships in a different way. That's it. But rather than him take the lesson, he's trying to defend it. And honestly, his defense made it worse. Because when I listen to his defense, I'm listening from the ear of an administrator, and I'm like, okay, you broke that rule, you broke that rule, like in his video of his explanation, he admitted to 4 or 5 things that he did that were in violation of what he should have been doing. Number one, you're supposed to teach bell to bell. You are absolutely supposed to teach bell to bell. There is no downtime, quote unquote. Not like that.
Not on TikTok.
Well, definitely not on TikTok. And I'm on TikTok, and I've done TikToks, but I've never done TikToks with my kids. I've done teacher TikTok, like where I'm like it's me talking about stuff, or I've done like little funny TikToks or whatever about ooh, is school over yet? That that kind of thing. But I do not have my students. It would never even occur to me, and I've seen it all over TikTok. I know that teachers do it, but for me, it would never even occur to me to put my students in a TikTok.
But yeah. And that's why I didn't even play the video on my channel, because I don't put children on my channel.
Right. Like me and my students made TikToks, but we didn't upload them. My seniors. So I teach my senior class. I teach a specialized class. So It's only for the seniors that I have this year, I've had them since 9th grade. I've had them throughout their high school career. So and it's 6 of them in one class, and it's 8 of them in another.
Okay.
Right? And I've been teaching, and I call them my COVID kids, because I started their 9th grade year. We were all online. They were all online. Okay. So these are my COVID babies. Right. These are my COVID babies. 2020. So, there is a different relationship there. But again, I haven't uploaded them on the last day of school. They were like, make a TikTok with us. So we did. We made a TikTok, but we didn't upload it. We just did it to be cute, But again,
they not your
relationships.
And they not your besties. They're not going on vacation with you. They haven't grown up with you. They haven't seen your highs. They haven't seen your lows. They don't know anything. It's not a fair and balanced relationship. They're not your bestie.
They're not. They're never, and they're not. They can't be. Aquarius, Aquarius said, I thought parents had to sign off allowing students to be posted. That's another rule that in my mind, I was like, that's another rule you brought, because the school district may have you sign a release when you register your children, but not every child has a release. You don't know if they automatically have a release.
Mine didn't. Not for field trips.
We have right. They signed a release for all of it, because if they want to be posted on the school website.
No, my child didn't want to be photographed, and she wasn't. I never signed them.
And that's the thing. So as a teacher, you don't know what kids have that on file or not. That's not information you're privy to. And he said in his video, my parents didn't have a problem with it. I don't care. If you don't have it written in, if you don't have a legal release, they can come back. Do y'all understand how finicky people are? 1 minute they cool with it, and the next minute they not.
You damn right.
They might not have had a problem with you making your little cute videos where you were playing basketball with the kids, and he had all kinds of videos with his kids. But maybe they drew the line at you doing their hair. You see what I'm saying? And so now that same parent that told you they was cool with it, now that same parent got a problem. And legally, you are wrong, because you did not they are minors. Those kids are minors. They can't give you consent. They're a minor. They can't say, oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter if they got 20 Instagram accounts and post all day long. They cannot give you consent to post them.
No, because they can't go into a legal and binding contract with anybody.
Nobody. So they can't give consent. So
I don't think his intentions were, I don't think his intentions were bad. I think that it is just, I think that one of the things that I grew up with is ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right.
And even if he forgot, it's no excuse.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, they'll tell you in a minute that ignorance of the law is no excuse. And that's
No
what I'm
excuse.
saying. And that's what I'm saying. When I don't hear the remorse. I don't hear the
No, it's not. There
now.
isn't any.
Yeah, I don't hear the, you know, in the moment, I didn't think it was anything wrong, but I understand now why this was inappropriate and I apologize. Yada, yada, yada. Like, I just don't hear that. Which, what I hear when he says that is, I would do it again. Because you don't feel like you did anything wrong.
And I don't need kids to validate me. I don't need to be on TikTok crying and reading with light playing music in the back. I don't need that.
Listen, I tell my
He
kids
needs
all
to-
the
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Auntie. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I said, I tell my kids all the time, you don't have to like me, and that's okay. We're gonna respect each other, and you're gonna learn what I need. You're gonna pass my class. My job is to make sure you pass my class and get the information you're supposed to get. You don't have to like me. I'm okay with that because I don't need a 15-year-old to like me. I don't. I don't care if
Like
adults
y'all
like
gonna
me.
be going to the Cayman Islands next week.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't
No.
Right. I don't walk around caring if adults like me. I know I don't care if a 15-year-old does. You know what I mean?
And then the thing about it is, I have my daughter's grown, and she don't even curse around me. And when she slip up, she be like, oh my God, like trying to hang up the phone, like when she driving. Wait a minute, move the boom. I hear the horn and all that. Oh, Mom, did you hear that? She hang up. She embarrassed. Mom, I'm sorry. You have to have boundaries.
Auntie, I'm grown. I'm grown, Auntie. You heard I've been teaching for 25 years. I'm grown, Auntie, and I don't curse around my parents. And I do the same thing. If I slip up, I immediately apologize. Because I slip up. I mean, but if I slip up, I immediately apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mom be slipping up. She be like, oh my God, Mom. No, I'm sorry. Mom, did you hear that?
Right. And I'm grown. Live on my own. Don't ask for nothing. Don't borrow nothing. And I still, because that's how I was raised. Now, I understand that some people, these parents these days, not all of them, before y'all yell at me in the chat, like, not me. But I understand that a lot of parents don't care about profanity. It's not a big deal to them.
I do.
I do too. No, I do too.
For all the kids in the family. Yeah. I do. Don't cuss around me.
Honestly, don't walk through a high school because they don't care. They cuss. They don't care whether you're an adult. They don't care if you're a grandmama. They do not care. They cuss. Yeah,
they do. I'm a parent, so I've seen it. Yeah. And I've experienced it.
And like I tell my kids, y'all, whatever y'all do out there in the hallway or in the streets, do it in the street. Y'all not gonna do it in my classroom.
Yeah, because you put those boundaries around it, and you demand respect in your space, as you should. I just, and I just thought about it. A lot of people want to try to make it sexual, right? And say that people are thinking this. That's not it. But here's something that I want people to think about. Women got hair issues too. Mm-hmm. And we probably want to take our braids out our hair too. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to sit in the classroom and be like, take out my protective style. Right?
Auntie, you wear braids, so we plan it around when we're going to have time to take our braids out. Come on. You know what we do. We plan it around.
Yes, we do.
Because I braid my hair in the summer. Like probably by the end of this month, my hair gonna be in braids until August because I swim. I like to swim a lot and stuff like that in the summer. I'm like, okay.
I do too.
If I'm gonna make my appointment for Saturday. If I'm gonna take these braids out, okay, so that means that Thursday, Friday night, I'm free. I can take the braids out. I can wash my hair real good and be good to go by Saturday morning. Oh shoot! Wait a minute! I forgot. I gotta go to this thing at church on Friday. I'm not gonna have time. Let me push my appointment back a week or pull it up a week. We do that. We plan around that. You know what I'm saying?
You see this comment?
Kids will rise to the expectation you make for them. Absolutely. I'm 18 years in the classroom, and yes, kids have changed. Yes, listen. Absolutely. And you're absolutely correct. Unapologetically black. Absolutely. Kids, see, here's the thing about kids. I'm really, are is the world different? Yes. And do we have to adjust to certain things? Yes. But I'm really sick of people feeling like that adjustment means just let kids do whatever they want to do. Kids, when you put consistent rules in place with consistent consequences, kids will follow the rule. If there's a consequence, now, is that 100%? Because some people just don't care. We know some adults don't care, just like some kids don't care. But the majority of the kids can adjust, and the majority of the kids can comply.
Can
And
and
yes,
will. Can
absolutely.
and will.
Like I said, when I was at the juvenile detention center, my principal at the detention center didn't play, and the teachers didn't play, and the expectation was clear. Right now, I mean, I ain't gonna say it. They used to fight all the time because they was in the detention center. Now they used to fight all the time. That wasn't on us, but they came into class. The expectation is that you're gonna learn. The expectation is that you're gonna be respectful. You're not going to use profanity. And again, did they slip up? Yes.
Yes, because they kids.
Because right, but the expectation, they knew. And they would immediately say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
My bad.
My bad. That's it. Yeah, my bad.
Mhm.
And that's so, and you know what? Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I really do believe that, that there needs to be, and I don't know him personally. I wish only the best for him. I hope that this, gets resolved and that he'll be able to heal from it and the kids, because this is affecting the kids and their parents. And that's why
Yeah.
I think my concern has been what is happening with the kids and the parents. What's going on with
Yeah.
that?
I honestly don't know. The other thing, I don't, and now here's the thing. I don't think he should be fired. If he were apologetic and understood that what he did was wrong, I don't think he should be fired. If this was his first, if this wasn't like something like a repeat offender kind of situation. Again, I don't know his HR
I don't think he should be terminated either. But I'm not a union rep.
Well, here's the thing: he's at a charter school, so there may not be a union.
Oh,
I don't know that to be a fact, but I know he's at a charter school, and most charter schools do not have a union. I know here in the state of Maryland, we do have a union in the state of Maryland, but he's at a charter school, and most charter schools in this area are not unionized. Yeah, so if there's no union, then they can terminate him without a lot of recourse because he's not a member of the union. Now, if he worked for the district, DCPS or one of the counties, then they probably wouldn't be able to fire him.
It's damn near virtually impossible to fire somebody under DCPS.
It's not. I hate when people say that. It's not.
From a parent perspective, it's damn near impossible.
No, the problem is. Again, I worked in DC public schools for 10 years, and I worked for the union. I was a field rep for the union for DCPS. I mean, for the Washington Teachers Union. Here's the problem: when people say it's impossible to fire teachers, it's not impossible. But here's the problem: there are guidelines, and there are timelines in those guidelines. So, for example, if you write a teacher up, right?
Right.
There's a process that has to be followed. And if you miss one step of that process, they can appeal it. And if you miss once, it's just like a court case. The police, the prosecutors, the lawyers, everybody can do everything right. But if the police officer never read him his rights, or if they missed a filing deadline or whatever. So when people say it's impossible, it's not. I mean, is it hard? Yes, it is hard.
It is hard.
But as a principal, if you know you want to put this teacher, okay, so first you put them on an improvement plan. And within the improvement plan, there's certain things you have to do because you have to coach them, blah, 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 blah. And there are timelines involved in that. But if a principal is diligent and they follow the timeline, they can get rid of a teacher. But the problem is most principals just can't. They just don't follow the timeline. Now, there's certain things that are sort of automatic. You know what I mean? You show up to work drunk, you show up to work inebriated or whatever. Yeah, there's some things that are more automatic than others, but just because they're a bad teacher, yeah, that's a process in that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna call a thing. I'm just gonna tell y'all the truth right now. There's such a crisis right now in education with a teacher shortage. Yeah, they ain't firing nobody.
What?
Baby, we need teachers so bad right now. It would be hard to get fired. It would
But
be
that's
hard.
because y'all do a lot of work with a little pay.
You know what it is?
People can go and work for Metro and make more money than the damn teacher.
But you know what though, Auntie? For me, as somebody who is looking for the exit, it's not fun anymore.
Okay.
Nobody went into teaching thinking they were going to get rich. So the money really isn't the issue because everybody knew. Like, for how long have you known that teachers don't make a lot of money, right?
True.
It's really not, for me, it's really not about the money. It's about respect. When I first started teaching, teachers and parents were allies.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. When I first started teaching, when we had parent-teacher conference,
at certain schools it still is.
Well, my experience, I
because I'm gonna tell you, we partner, and I think that when your child works to get in, I won't say what school my child was in, but I think that when your child works their ass off to be even qualified to go to a school, and a parent has worked with that child, you partner when they get accepted in that fucking school.
Oh well, look, you ain't got to tell me, but I know it's one of 3 schools that you probably talking about in DC. But anyway, you talking about on the high school level?
You partner.
It's one of 3 schools. I'm not going to, I would never say it out loud, but it's one of 3 schools that I already know is probably what you're talking about in DCPS. But here's the thing. I agree with that. But when I first started teaching back to school night, parent teacher conference, it was standing room only. The line down the hallway, right? If now you got parents coming up to the school wanting to fight the teachers. Parents coming up to the school wanting to fight the kids. Like, where they do that at? Kids coming to school in their pajamas, slippers, and bonnets and don't think nothing's wrong with it. Oh, yeah. And some of them are getting out the car with their parents like that. You send your kid to school like that? You don't see nothing wrong with that? Them big furry slippers, the little pajama bottoms, bonnets.
It's a damn shame, though. Now, that's a damn shame.
Hell, even the boys wear bonnets now.
What? Well, I knew that was a profession I could never do.
Yeah.
Because I would be chink. Yeah, they would chink my ass. Because I don't have the patience for that. So I do what I do for a living. But I'm just hoping that the best comes out of this. I'm hoping that he doesn't get fired because I don't think he should be fired.
Yeah, I agree.
I do believe that, he needs to get the fuck off of TikTok doing working hours.
Absolutely.
Why are you on social media?
Right. Why are we here? Why are we even having this conversation? Because this should not be a question mark. This should not be a question mark.
I would be gone.
Renee, don't change your major, baby. We need you. We need you. Don't change your major, boo.
Who's
I don't
that?
want to scare nobody away. Renee said she might change her major. No, we need you.
No,
Don't change your major.
No. I have heard a lot of teachers say that it has been very rewarding. I think that, you just gotta, you gotta get in where you fit in and you gotta pay your dues. And I think that's what a lot of teachers have done too, especially principals. They've paid their dues somewhere else, right? Mm-hmm. So I got a lot of friends who are teachers and administrators and stuff like that.
And I want to stay in education. I just want to do something different. I feel like my time in the classroom is over.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now I want to stay in education. I would love to get into curriculum development. I would love to get into
I
training,
was
teacher
going to say you should get
training.
into curricular development.
Yeah, I would love to get into teacher training. I would love to get into those, go into those areas. But just to be in a classroom every day, I just think, and I've done so many different roles. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
look,
you
look at
so
look at
much.
D McFarland. Auntie, she said, Auntie, I had to leave after 20 years. It was a nightmare this school year. Yeah, this school year, this year
Oh,
and last year,
what?
this year and last year has been really hard. I'm gonna be honest. It's been hard coming back after COVID, but last year and this year was just, it was for me, it was really hard for me. If I'm
I
being
think
honest.
that the kids went through a lot during COVID. I think COVID reshaped uh, how kids see education
It did.
and what they have gone through. And because one of the things about COVID that I had heard a scientist discuss, and he was saying, even for women and men who were going through DV, and children who were in, home, a homes, abusive homes, and stuff like that, prior to COVID, they had the opportunity to escape it for six
Yeah.
hours or
Yeah.
5 hours or whatever. But during that time period, they had no escape. So the mind um is trying to process not being able to get out, not being able to do anything,
Yeah.
no social life, any connection that you had. And then all of a sudden they say, okay, the doors is open, ring, like at the end of the day, the bell is ringing and you're coming out with all that trauma, all of that emotional damage, and all,
Mhm.
and you're coming in wanting to be, because I was talking to my girlfriend, it's a whole nother subject. And she was like, child, do you know that she lived down in Fort Washington. She said, girl, do you know that they just came and snatched the damn ATM? Snatched the ATM out the damn gas station in Fort Washington.
What?
Yes. This was like a week and a half ago. Snatched, took it, went
Child.
in there during customer hours, wrapped a chain around the damn ATM and hooked it to the back of a truck, bitch, and rode off with it in Fort Washington.
Child. Yeah. Yeah. It's a different
Any,
world, honey.
it is a different world. But thank you so much for coming up.
Okay, I'm about to hop off so I can get to my job in the morning.
How about that? Because I got to get to mine too. Thank you
Right.
so
Thanks
much,
for inviting me up,
Billy.
though. I've enjoyed the conversation. Thank you to the chat. You guys have been great. I've been reading y'all comments. Y'all been great in the chat.
They sweet over here.
They are. You know, Auntie. We love Auntie.
Love you too, boo. Thank
All right.
you.
Good night, everybody.
Mwah.
Lord, let me find my mouse to get out of here.
Well, you all, I am going to end it right here. Special thank you to Raydella, who's been keeping the chat nice and safe for everybody to be able to communicate. Thank you to you all for your comments, whether for or against, and doing it respectfully, right? Because at the end of the day, there are lives attached to this incident. And my perspectives are coming from this perspective of, number one, a professional, and number two, a parent. And I think that really B and I, have the same sentiments, that we don't believe that he needs to be fired for this. I don't believe it's a fireable offense. However, I don't know all the circumstances, the situations, and all of that kind of stuff. I do hope that he does some introspective. Okay, he needs to go in and be introspective about things. And I think that a lot of people, an apology sometimes, no, not an apology. He ain't got to apologize. Just an acknowledgement that possibly would go a long way with this with parents. I think that, going through school with my child, sometimes it was just the acknowledgement from the administrators, from the administration, and possibly from a teacher or another student that went a long way. A long way. So thank you so much, Willie B, for coming up and giving us a perspective. I didn't know she had been I guess, child, I didn't even think she was old enough to be teaching no damn 25 years. I'm trying to tell you, I didn't think she was old enough. I'm shocked that she even been teaching that long, but thank you so much, Willie B, for coming up. Girlfriend look good, child. I'm trying to tell you. She look good. Because, honey, you remember your teachers when you was growing up and they had been teaching 25 years, child, they look like they have been teaching 25 years. So she looks fantastic. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. For the replay crew, make sure you comment down below. Weigh in. This is viewers decide whether or not he was wrong or he's right. In your opinion. Thank you all so much. Till we meet again, y'all. Y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. And child now in the classroom. Love y'all. Bye.